Welcome to the Dyneria Smart Script overview. In this video, we're going to talk about the basic prerequisites and setups, additional workflows and control elements that we have within our product, the end-to-end data update scenarios for D365 for finance and operations and supply chain management, and we'll talk about the audit options and additional workspace that we developed to simplify users' life. To start working with the product, we need to go to the System Administration, Setup, System Parameters. In this out-of-the-box form, we have a new tab available here called Dyneria Smart Script. Under this form and this tab, we have the new field called Restrict by User Group. So this is another layer of control within System Administrators group. So even people with System Administrator role in the system, which get access literally to everything in the system, those people can be still limited from running the scripts if they are not within that group. So if you need a layer of control like this, you would define the specific user group that will exclusively get access to the script execution, and only people in that group will actually get the ability to run the script. If system administrator is not within that group, they will not get the access. Well, they will get the access, but they will not be able to execute anything within that form. If you don't want that layer of control, you would just leave that field blank. The approval step is the functionality that allows you to set up another workflow of approvals when you upload the script, and then you require the approval of the script before it can be executed, before even the test run can happen. So optional basically tells if you can execute the script right away, if you can go with a live update, do whatever you want. You can still approve or reject in that scenario. So people who will actually notice some issues with the script, maybe some mistakes, maybe wrong details of the script, maybe the wrong class, whatever it is, they can still reject it. They can still approve it to maintain kind of visual reference, but it will not affect people from running it right away after they upload it. The mandatory option in this case will make the system check for the approval every time that you try to execute the script. I will show this scenario later during our end-to-end demonstration, but this is basically not letting you go into the furthest execution stages before you actually approve the script that you uploaded. The different user is the scenario when you want some additional control, like another pair of eyes looking into the script that you uploaded before you can execute it. So different user will mean that whoever uploaded the script cannot approve it. It must be done by someone else. Again, according to our setup here, it must be the person within that group. And also, of course, within the system security privileges available out of the box. So we will leave it mandatory for our end-to-end scenario. The test run step is the basically testing execution before you run the live update. You can leave it optional, so you can just approve and then just execute and do the live update with all the messages that you will receive or might receive during this process as is. So you will leave it optional in that case if you don't need it. If you want to execute the test before you run it in live, committing transactions, you would select mandatory. So mandatory will make it a requirement to run the test and sign off on the test log every time before you do the actual live update. So I will leave it mandatory as well. Before we jump to the actual end-to-end scenario, I need to mention a couple of things that are left behind on this video. So first of them is the requirement for the data update is to understand the data model in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations and Supply Chain Management database. So you need to understand these data structures, the relations You need to basically understand what you are doing. Second, you need to understand the scope of data that you're updating. So make sure that you understand and you are not updating the data that you don't need to update, right? And vice versa, you update all the data, all relations, everywhere where it is really needed. So for that, make sure that you document all the changes, you develop the script in your development environment. First, prepare the deployable package that you can use. I have a couple of test ones for this demo, but this step is mandatory and this is not covered within our video. Make sure you check out our user guide where it contains the references to Microsoft development guidelines and custom script requirements for data updates, because we have everything the same here, following the same patterns. Okay, with that being said, let's jump to the demo. So under system administration, we're still in that module. We go to the periodic tasks, Dyneria Smart Script. Under this, I do have another view here. This view by default opens the active only scripts, and in that case we only have 2 available, but we can also switch it quickly to everything that was ever used and maybe processed and failed or abandoned as well. We can also switch to finalized only, the ones that we don't run anymore, but they were executed at some point. In my case, I will leave it to active only, like it is open by default. To start with a new script, I would click the upload button. So same way like out of the box custom script functionality, our smart script is doing exactly the same. So in this case, let me pick the first option here. And you see it actually takes some time to understand and recompile the file from the package to say like what is the package name, what is the assembly name, and what is the class name. Okay, so for my case, I will be doing this as test 1. Okay, so that is basically a purpose. You can say update customer master, update addresses, whatever you need to do, update general ledger, financial information, anything you really consider as the main purpose of the script, you would give it a name like this. Okay, in my case, it should be dummy test 1, right? When I click upload, if I uploaded something similar before, Dyneria custom scripts test, so that's the class, that's the assembly that I uploaded before, it would notify you. Unfortunately, it's saying the version 0000. This is related to the .NET limitations. But in this case, what is important, it just tells you the sign that actually you might have uploaded this before, considering uploading the new version rather than just doing the new script. Or if that script is ended, you just need to upload the new one. So you can do it. But this is just to warn you that something similar was uploaded before. And you can select yes or no. If you say no, nothing will be uploaded. If you say yes, it will create the new test 1 script, which we can view. So as you click on it, you can click on the link or you can go to the details. It will open the form. The form contains the events section, which will tell you exactly which events happened for this specific script. If new version was uploaded, if test was executed, everything will be logged. So this is the first part of the audit information that we'll have on each script. As you can see, the logs are empty and we have only one active version. As we configure the system to require approval before we do this, we actually need to approve the script before we can test or run anything. But we can abandon at every moment. So it's not necessarily to approve it, then abandon if you want to abandon it. All right. Before we do this, let me talk about the statuses. So the statuses can be really different here, and every operation you do with your scripts will be reflected here on the statuses. So now it's just uploaded. Let's see what happens as we approve it. Okay, so as you can see, it actually updated this part. It says it's still active version. Nothing happened here, but we have the test available. And remember, it's mandatory for us. So we have to run the test before we can run the live update. And we can only abandon the script in here. We cannot mark it as resolved or anything. Okay, so in this case, the status is updated to approved. As we run the test, it should be a really simple update. So it calls the dialog form where we can schedule it to go to the batch. I can say, okay, I don't want it to go to the batch. I want it to be executed right now from my user session. So test run is completed. We do have the log information. So there was like just returning the version of it and the domain, and that's it. So script is started, script is ended. Really simple information. So the log now is updated with the test run checkbox, so indicating that this test run happened for this version. It was done at this date and time, and actually we can see who did that test, right? So we also have the preview of that information, but this one can be really long depending on how many messages your script will produce. So this is like a preview part. This is regular message details form and can be really long again. Can be retrieved at any point of time. Okay, now we need to accept the test log. It's asking us if we do accept the log. So it's kind of formal sign off on this before we can proceed. So if I click yes, you see the new message saying ready to run. And now we can actually run the script. But at this stage, let me do something else. Let me upload the new version of it. So maybe at this stage we decide that ready to run is a good status, but we just suddenly figured that we need to do something extra on the script. So we need to upload the new version. The new version can be uploaded directly from this screen while you are on this specific line for this test one. You can also go into the details of that script and upload a new version from here. So I'll use the second option. As you can see, the purpose cannot be changed anymore. So I'll just do another one. Then it's pretty familiar, same steps, same warning message, confirming that yes, I do need a second version. And as you can see, it actually is asking for another approval, another test. So it's also reflecting the changes that I'm doing right now. From the ready to run to approved again. Run test again, really quick, and accept the test log. Now we have the run available. What can happen here again, we can actually activate the previous version, or we can just cancel, maybe leave the second version that we just designed. As you can see, the version number 2 contains the log information, so all the versions will be reflected here under this log information. But also, just to mention, we have inquiries, Dyneria Smart Script log, and that will actually contain the 2 latest runs that we had on our new script. So it will contain everything, purpose, basically the name of your script, who did that, which date and time was used, what was the script ID, what was the class name, and what were the messages. So if there are any messages, you can click show log and it will show you all the messages. So nothing is lost, which is a huge thing. So let's go back to our smart script and run it. So before we click OK on this form, we need to understand if we need to run it in the single transaction or not. Single transaction means that you will run it within the same TTS, So one TTS for everything. If you have 15,000 records to update and 2 of them fail, the whole thing will be reverted back if it is not successful. If you, in many cases, you want to run it for every single iteration, for every single update. When you can do it, you do it, and you leave the ones that are problematic outside. That will reduce the scope for the next updates. So for example, of these 15,000 records, 2 failed, you would just run it for the ones that are good. Everything will be committed for the good ones. The bad ones will be indicated in the error message. Of course, you would see that in the test run, but if you skipped it, you would figure that out during the live run. If you don't tick the checkbox, everything but these 2 records will be updated. If you check the checkbox, everything will be not updated, and you will have to run it again and have a clean run. So it's like everything at once or nothing if you check it. If you don't check it, it's going to be everything that is possible to update it will be updated. The ones that are not possible will be not updated, but then you will have the comprehensive log to fight them later, produce the fix, maybe another script, maybe another version of the script, and you can run it. So depending on your setup, you would check or uncheck the checkbox. All right, like my script is really simple. So same information. In this case, what is really interesting to see, except the fact that it actually updated the events, it updated the log, and it updated the status called run completed. In my case, it allows me to mark the script as purpose resolved or purpose unresolved, the same way as we do normally with the custom script functionality. In this case, we need to investigate if the data was updated as we wanted. If yes, we press purpose resolved. If that's not what we wanted, we press purpose unresolved, we work on another script. In my case, I would say purpose resolved, and it finalizes the script. As you can see, it actually disappeared from the list. But if I see it here, yeah, that's it. Okay, so we can also look from that workspace menu and see how many scripts we executed, how many of them were successful, how many were failed, how many are active at the moment requiring our attention, and so on. So we can just do it like this, or like this, or I can even see them under this menu. So that is basically the whole functionality available within our Smart Script product. To finalize, we need to mention the things that were not as visible, as visual as you can see on the screen, compared to the custom script functionality available from Microsoft. So our functionality, our custom functionality for Smart Script product allows more comprehensive logging, allows better performance. So we disable the tracing functionality and a lot of that small performance tweaks that allow us to update really large transactional data in one go. So that is a definite advantage. So if you are in need of running the big data updates, that is the product for you for sure. If you want to have periodic data updates from time to time, maybe because you are still working on your data after going live, maybe some of your data you realized it was bad and you're still working on the updates. So periodic data updates, again, this is the product for you. It's really working well with the repetitive data updates. It's also giving you comprehensive audit information, who and when and how executed the data. It also provides way better user experience compared to the custom script. Also better statuses and better overview of where we are with each specific script. that is everything we wanted to mention during this overview video. Thank you everyone for your attention. Bye bye.